How would you like to learn a no-sew applique technique while making an easy kids apron? Like this one, with either flowers or dinosaurs on the free template that I have for you at my website, welcome-to-nanas.com. I'm Nana, Shelly Carlson, so just follow along, and if I get ahead of you, stop the video so that you can catch up, and then start it again. I want you to really enjoy making this with me. So come on, let's go have some fun. I have a free pattern that I've made for you to use. It includes a flower design that you see here, as well as a dinosaur design that you could also use. Of course, you can make your own as well if you like. So I purchased an apron to make this craft go even more quickly. I recommend that you purchase one that does not have pockets on the top, so that you have this whole area to put your applique design upon. After you've chosen your design and printed it out, the fun part is choosing your fabrics that you'll be using. The star of the show is fusible webbing. It has a fusible web that's on this paper. So this is the paper side and the web is on this side. And this webbing, when you put it against a fabric, it will, and iron it with a hot iron, it will stick to the fabric. And then you can draw your design on the paper, peel the paper off, and stick it to another fabric. And it will be in between the two pieces of fabric like this. So between this orange fabric and the blue fabric is a piece of this fusible webbing. And once it's ironed on, it stays on really well. So this is where I'm going to be placing my design. And you can get your free template on the website, welcome-to-nanas.com, on the post with this same name. So after printing that out, you cut this out on the lines, of course. It's not hard to make your own pattern. You just draw the silhouette, which is just the outside line of anything that you'd like on your apron. And then you would be able to match your design to the very specific interests of the child or adult that you're making the apron for. Or it might even be fun to use something that the child has drawn. Make a copy of it and cut it out on the outline and use it on the front. That would be fun as well. This would make a great gift to make one for every grandchild or one for every child in your Sunday school class or something like that. I think it would also be fun to make family aprons so that they're all alike, maybe with a monogram. All right, so I finished up cutting out the pieces of the pattern, the three dinosaurs, and I'm going to work at arranging these on the apron the way that I want them. Okay, I kind of like that layout, and I think I'm going to put a little grass underneath their feet. So I'm going to mark these pattern pieces. This is the front of the pattern piece, and the reason why is when I put these on the Wonder Under, I need to make them backwards. I'll show you in a minute. So you buy fusible webbing by the yard like you do fabric. I marked my pattern piece with an X, and I'm going to turn this upside down. And I'm going to trace it onto the paper. And I'm just using a regular pencil. This paper will be torn off later on, so you're not going to see your tracings. And we're not going to cut it out right away. All right, so there's my first dinosaur. So my second dinosaur is this Tyrannosaurus Rex. I think I'm right in the name of that dinosaur. It's the mean guy, I know that, but he has short arms. So if you can outrun him, he can't catch you. And his big teeth. He has short arms, but big teeth. Let's see, did I get it all? Yes, good. And last is the pterodactyl, I think. So I'm going to cut these apart in big pieces. I'm not going to cut them on the lines yet. It's noisy, isn't it? So I need a piece of fabric that is larger than the cutout piece of fusible interfacing. There, so I have a piece of fabric that's large enough to iron this onto. And I don't want this hanging off the edge or I'll stick it to my ironing board or my counter. So I'll do that with each of my different pieces. So I've cut out my fabric and I'm going to iron it onto the fusible, onto my fabric next. Now an important thing to remember is that this has to go on the back of the fabric because it's going to be between the fabric and the apron. And the other extremely important thing is that you get the piece of fusible webbing onto the fabric with the fusing part against the fabric. Okay, so if you get that where the fusible part is up, it's going to stick to your iron and gum it up. And I'm speaking from experience. I've done it before. I put a towel down as my surface, but this works best on an ironing board. You heat your iron to its hot setting. I have mine on the cotton setting and no steam. Then I'm going to set my iron down on top of it and I'm not going to swish it around. I'm going to count to 10. 1, 1000, 2, 1000, 3, 1010. And that is going to fuse this paper onto the fabric. Okay, so I'm going to do that to each of my pieces of fabric. Okay, you need to make sure you have a fabric that can withstand the hot iron so it doesn't melt or get damaged. Okay, I have all my pieces done now and I'm going to cut them out next. It's very easy to cut through. You can see that it's kind of pliable. It's a piece of paper in my fabric basically. There's my pterodactyl coming to shape, isn't it? The technique works so well on just about anything. It holds the fabric in place. That's going to be my sun and my pterodactyl. Ooh, that looks good. So I'll cut these other two out and then we'll put them on our apron. Okay, so I have finished cutting out all my pieces. Okay, so I'm going to get my apron out and we're going to arrange them on the top of the apron the way we want them, and then we're going to iron them onto it. So first we're going to start by placing, I think, the sun and that pterodactyl is going to go up there. I think we had this guy here and this guy right here. Oh, I kind of like that. That turned out well. And then I'm going to place the grass underneath his feet here, and maybe some of this underneath the brontosaurus. I think it just came to me. This is a brontosaurus, I think. I'm going to put a little bit underneath his feet. So now we flip them over and tear the paper off the back, and that's going to expose the fusible webbing on the back side of the fabric. So I have those two in the correct place, and now I'm going to do the sun. Take my iron and we're going to iron these three pieces on. Exactly the same thing, except I'm going to put it flat down on the apron. 1, 1000, 2, 1003, 10. And looky there, it's fused onto the apron. I love this stuff. Come back and do these pieces down below. All right, with those three attached firmly with the fusible webbing, now we're going to take the paper off of the other dinosaurs and put them on top and iron them on. So tear that paper off each one of the figures. It's not hard to do, it's kind of fun. Again, make sure that you're putting that with the side that has the fusible webbing on it down onto the fabric, or you'll iron it onto your iron. Speaking from one who's done it before. I'm kind of excited about this sun underneath the pterodactyl. I just thought of that as I found that little piece of orange fabric and thought it might work really well, and I think I'm going to like it. I sure hope so, at least, because it's already ironed on. Okay, got some static. This one's easy to see the fusible webbing on the back. I'm going to place him up there, kind of flying over that sun or planet or whatever it is. And lastly, our brontosaurus. So it's kind of like making a sticker, isn't it? A sticker with your fabric instead of with paper. Okay, so we'll place these where we want them, and then I'm going to get my iron And I'm going to iron each section like this and kind of get them all on at the same time here. Well, that looks good, don't you think? So taking the hot iron, how about if I start over here with the brontosaurus and his tail? 2, 10. One thousand two. Right, so we're going to want to make sure that we get every little area of our appliques ironed on well. The important thing is that you don't swish your iron on it while you are getting it set on the fabric. You want to leave your hot iron flat on the surface while you're doing the applique process. That is quick and easy, and oh, that turned out so well. I really like it. So you've learned a no-sew applique technique and made an easy kids apron gift. That's a double bonus, isn't it? There's lots more ideas for applique and other projects over on welcometananas.com. Come on over and join the fun.